What are they going with?
So the Observer is leading with nurses pledging tougher new strikes as the NHS crisis deepens. So they say if they don't get what they want, they're going to have new strikes in January, and these ones are going to be even tougher. There's going to be less generous support inside hospitals. Apparently, the strikes at the moment are like they will help you a bit if you're dying. They won't just completely. They're saying no. Like if you come back in January, you're dead. That's it. And there's going to be more hospitals and more nurses taking part. The government's counter. The first signs that government ministers might sit down and actually try and fix this. They're offering one-off lump sum payments. The nurses are asking for 19%, which is a lot. I mean, I believe that nurses should get paid a bit more. You know, it should maybe go up in line with inflation and stuff. But 19%. I mean, whose wages go up at 19%? It's insane.
If you think they should go up with inflation, how far back do you think that should have happened? Because they've not gone up with inflation. But why didn't they go up with inflation the year before?
No, they have.
That and then the year before.
No, they have. They went up. I think they went up 4% last year.
Over 5 years, over the last 5 years, they've had a real-term reduction if you include all of those inflations.
All right, numbers, guy. That's maybe a fact. But I've got.
Sorry, I've written it with a fact.
But listen, no. All right. As a concession, how about we have this 19% pay rise for nurses, but it's funded by getting rid of all the pointless non-jobs in the public sector?
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, all these diversity and inclusion managers, like lived experience consultants. Nobody needs these things. They actually just get in the way of the health service working. So why not get rid of them? They can be turned into dog food or do some valuable for society. And then the nurses can get the money that they were getting. And they were all on like 100-odd grand anyway. So, that'll pay for, 3 nurses or 2 nurses at the current pay rise.
I was with you right up until the cannibalism. Right up until that point, I was on board.
It's not cannibalism if you turn a human into dog food.
Oh, no, of course not. No, you carry on.
Carry on. Crack on.
I mean, this story is interesting because they're saying that there's going to be a whole load of nurses that are going to strike, and they weren't striking before. And you think, they've got like a backup squad of nurses ready to just, at a moment's notice, just drop all the clipboards and just walk on out. So they're being strategic about this. What I do not accept is some of the language used, because they say prevent the collapse of the NHS. Now, I'm sorry, that's only going to happen if the nurses have been allowed to mix the cement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if you've asked the radiologist to draw up the architectural plans, it might collapse, because that's not their area of specialty. It's when they say things like collapse, I think, it sounds like everybody all at once is just going to faint. It's not going to happen. It's still going to carry on, but they do need to be paid properly for what they're doing. So I just resent kind of the hyperbole of the word collapse, but I understand it's kind of a pressured situation and they want to, blow it up.
And there's a chance this news story saying stronger strikes next year could just be threatening. But do you think the strikes need to be stronger? The idea of nurses going on strikes is headline-grabbing enough, and the purpose of this kind of strike is to grab a headline. Does it actually need for more people to be left without care? If it's in the papers, they've done the job, haven't they? Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it'll actually get to the point where it weakens support for nurses. I think, we all want to see nurses getting paid fairly. And they're not drastically underpaid. I think the median salary is like 34 grand or 35 grand, which isn't peanuts. But we want to see them being paid fairly, and we want to see it go up. But the nurses' wages have lagged wages in the private sector. But I mean, if they're just gonna drop everything and let people die, people are going to be like, well, why am I paying my taxes for this NHS that doesn't even keep me alive? I want to not pay that tax, and instead I'll pay it to private medical care, who will keep me alive because I just paid them.
We miss the good old days of when the people stopping you getting to hospital were oil protesters rather than people working in the NHS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else on the front page of The Observer?